We've talked a lot about AI on this podcast in the past, and today I'm excited to kind of dive into video. How can we use AI to help us in our video creation and actually creating the content, coming up with the ideas, all of the things? Because we know that video is so important at connecting with our donors, with our audience. We know that video is so important for the algorithms, for the platforms that we're on. So, how can we speed up that process? How can we make it more intentional? And how can we really leverage video and the AI tools that are out there to support us if we're just not experts at creating video and we don't have the budget to hire people to do it for us, right? And so, my guest today to talk about just this is John. John is the founder and CEO of AirPost, an AI driven platform automating video and production. Former global product marketing lead at Airbnb, he launched and scaled new products and features for millions of hosts and guests. He's a seasoned marketer with over 15 years of experience in creative direction, digital marketing, and online advertising. He's a frequent speaker on the future of AI in marketing, user-generated content, and advanced creative strategies for consumer brands in e-commerce, fintech, and mobile. Now, if you've been thinking about thinking about video, but you just don't know where to start, this is going to be a really great episode for you so that you can find some tools to help you streamline, speed up, and get it done. Because that's really the thing that I find most organizations struggle with is the getting it done piece. Whether it's just being nervous in front of the camera, there's some tools that he has so that you don't have to be on camera. There's so many just different ways that we can approach video now, and AI can help us do it. So let's dive into this episode. But before we do, it is brought to you by Oh My High. Again, if you're looking for simple tools to get visibility and your website just isn't doing what it needs to do for you, Oh My High is the go-to website builder for beginners, people that are not crazy tech savvy, or people that just really need some support with getting it done. Now, there's so many different website builders that are out there, but what I love about Oh My High is that they are there with you every step of the way. It's a visual builder, very easy to use, customizable, and they have live weekly Q&A training sessions where you can come in if you're stuck, if you have a new person on your team to support you in getting the thing done. Where do I put this block? How do I add this thing? How do I put this email opt-in in? There's people that are there to help you every single week, as well as their really vast and broad knowledge-based tutorial videos. It's a great community of people that are all there just trying to get visibility for their business, grow their business, and hit their goals. So if you want to check out Oh My High, you can do that at thefirstclick.net/ohmyhigh, HI. You can hear a bonus episode I did with co-founder Becky Launder about the purpose and brilliance behind having a great website that works for you and supports your business. So I hope that you'll check it out and see what you think about websites and the Oh My High builder. We love it here at The First Click, and it's a great place to start when you're trying to have a professional website that can get visibility and conversions for your organization. Let's get into the episode.
You're listening to the Digital Marketing Therapy Podcast. I'm your host, Sammy Bedell-Mulhern. Each month, we dive deep into a digital marketing or fundraising strategy that you can implement in your organization. Each week, you'll hear from guest experts, nonprofits, and myself on best practices, tips, and resources to help you raise more money online and reach your organizational goals. Hey, friends, please join me in welcoming John Gargiulo to the podcast. Thanks for being here, John.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Okay, so we've been talking about AI a lot over the last few months on the podcast. Today we're talking about video, but before we kind of jump in, why AI? Why is that something that is exciting for you?
AI is eating the world. It's changing everything. I think the whole planet will look different in 5 or 10 years. Some things better, some things weirder. I think that's why it's exciting. I just feel really grateful to be building something in AI video at this moment.
Yeah. Okay, so video is not something we've talked about on the podcast yet with regards to AI, and I feel like it's something that makes people nervous. Like, okay, I don't know. I have not seen a video that's generated from AI that I haven't been like, that's AI. But I feel like there's a breadth of different types of ways that you can use video. So, what are your favorite ways to use AI to help with your video creation?
Yeah, I think that what you just said is true. Maybe still true, but maybe just changed completely at the beginning of summer here when VEO3 came out. VEO3, the number 3 from Google. You can try it if you go to just Google, like Google Gemini VO3. It's a big leap. It's a Chat GPT level leap in the sense that, and I've been playing around with it, you can go in there and say, I want a president speaking to Congress talking about how Sammy has really come a long way this year. But, like you send it to somebody and they think it's real. I mean, it's really creepily good. I think the biggest thing that's leapt forward with VO3 in AI is they have sound. So instead of, Will Smith eating spaghetti or some of these memes or famous things in AI video past, and of course the deep past is about 3 years long maximum, maybe 2. So stuff moves quickly. This is like, you hear them talking, you hear sound effects. One of my favorite prompts for VO3 is like Netflix thriller, 2 people talking intensely, at a European train station about something. It just looks really, really real. So I will say for the record that I think we have turned a corner there.
I love that. So before you get freaked out and scared, I think there's a couple creative ways that I think this could be used for nonprofits, and I would love your thoughts, is like video at your fundraising events. Like now you have an opportunity to take your real content and use it authentically. Like how might we want to use video AI to help us create video as opposed to having to maybe spend all the money on a production company?
Well, you used a great word, which is authentically. So I think everyone listening here has a different view of that word. I think the true meaning of that word is no. It's real donors. It's real people who are benefiting from our nonprofit. We cannot put fake people. That's very inauthentic, and get that. Let me go to the other side of the continuum, and I'm not recommending this, but I'm just saying this. And if it sounds nuts and head shaky, 10 years from now, my guess is it will be the norm, whether we like it or not. Which is, I really want to show. Okay, we don't want to lie, right? So maybe I got all these great quotes over the last few years in my nonprofit of what people really love about us and what we do. But I want to show a video at this big event fundraiser that we're doing. So I'm going to make all these people that look like they were interviewed in nice lighting, that I spent $20,000, $30,000 to fly in a documentary team. And I want them to talk passionately about these things. And I'm going to have them use the same quotes that these actual people actually said. I mean, you could do that today with I keep saying, it's like I'm sounding like I'm pitching VO3. But again, I'm kind of obsessed. You ought to check it out, VEO3. But because everyone listening could go in there right now and be like, show me that and have them say this, and it will work now. In terms of other ways people at nonprofits could use video AI, there's a lot of editing and orchestration tools where they're using footage you already have. I just had a call with a CEO yesterday, 5-year-old startup, not 5-year-old person. She's 40. 5-year-old startup that does editing in the browser. Think like CapCut for Mac or competitor, right?
Yeah.
And she's working on something where you prompt what you want, right? Hey, here's all my footage. Like a lot of you probably have folders full of stuff that you really want to get to using, or you only used it once and you want to get more leverage out of it. You can dump it in there and say, make me a rough cut in this editing timeline of a video talking about this angle of what we do at our nonprofit. Go. And then it'll make a okay version, and then you can edit it from there. So those are some of the things that are coming.
Yeah, I love that, because it's not like you're not going to pretend like Tom Cruise is your advocate at your event and put your voice, that would be inauthentic, but using your own words, content, and manipulating it through AI so that you can save time and effort. I think that's fantastic. We do the same thing. We use AI to cut this podcast to create the short videos that we want, right? It's our content, but we're saving time by taking our stuff and slicing it up into a bunch of different things. Okay, so the one thing that blew my mind that I learned about a few years ago is using AI to personalize video. So I'd love for you, if there's a new tool or whatever that you love, but creating a video that says hey there, thank you so much for coming to our event and donating and blah, 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 blah. And then AI goes in and adds the name so that they get would be hey, John, hey, Sammy, hey, whatever. I think that's also a really cool thing that people don't think about that AI can do.
That's a great idea. 100%. And there are companies like Heygen, Heygen, Synthesia, where you can make an avatar of yourself. The head of the nonprofit could be talking to the camera just like you and I are and say, Jeremy, I just want to say thank you. Love that you came to our event in St. Louis last week and gave $410. That was really generous of you, blah, 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 blah. And it will be imperceptible. It will look exactly like you. It will sound exactly like you. Jeremy will be thrilled. Jeremy might be in his 70s, by the way, and not like looking for every AI uncanniness.
Yeah.
And you know what? If Jeremy complains, it's like, well, I could have sat there and done it myself. President, Clinton could have like sent Christmas cards where he sat there and signed everyone, but they just print his signature. It's printing you know what I mean? So that's how I look at it.
Well, and I think too, if somebody complains, it's like, hey, do you want me to spend my hours and your money recording videos? Or did you love the fact that we sent you a video and, yes, we used AI, but it meant we got to touch points with everybody in a quick period of time and connect with you while we're still going out and nurturing and raising more money for the cause that we're doing. Like 100%. It's all in how you frame those conversations.
Yep. Agreed.
Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to touch on is AI for how we deliver our services. So if you're like delivering video content to your families or your community, and maybe you have community that's in multiple languages, like AI now is also getting really good at taking your existing video and translating it into multiple languages so you can serve a wider variety of people, right?
Yeah, video and text. In fact, OpenAI just early this summer came out with a much improved model that can reliably, culturally, like take something in Tagalog or Spanish or Latvian and put it into English or vice versa very, very well. So if you're using any kind of translation company for any kind of work already, I would switch to just ChatGPT. And then video, same, absolutely. I'm guessing the lip sync, which is already not 100% of the way there. Maybe it's 92% of the way there. But a year ago it was 70% of the way there. Will be a little harder for German, but I could be wrong. Because they got to fit like, but this guy said, "Welcome to France," welcome to Chicago. But in German, it's like "Willkommen," and then they spell that in that time. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Yeah, but it's a great way to like expand your services still. And I think nobody's going to come at you for being like, well, you weren't actually speaking Spanish. Well, no, but do you want access to these resources or not? Like, we're doing what we can.
100%.
Yeah.
It's all like, it's all about like more efficient, helping people as efficiently as possible. So like, that's what AI can enable.
Yeah. Okay, so what other things are you seeing on the landscape? Like, what other ways are you excited about video being used and how AI can help us streamline that?
I think it's gonna, I have a lot of friends directly in the production world. I'm in the production world. Nothing we can do about it. I think it's going to replace production writ large. It's going to put Netflix level production with, 80, 90 people running around and craft services and this great DP who's got a great resume at your keyboard. And you can just make whatever you want. Again, you already kind of can now. And then what does that abundance open up? Like, what do people actually go and do with that? What happens when it's not make a shot of two people talking in a Netflix thriller for 8 seconds? What if it's make a Netflix thriller that's all about our nonprofit, for 8 episodes and they're all good? We're only a few years away from this. That's where I can't even imagine where it goes. Hard to track back how it helps the nonprofit. Maybe it's that, when I prompt AI, I just always use the microphone little button to the side of the cell at the bottom and I'll talk sometimes for 3, 4, 5+ minutes to give it context. Maybe you want a really amazing welcome reel at a big event and it's like 1.5 minutes long and it's going to take you months to outline it, storyboard it, find the right people to edit it. You go back and forth in 1 million revisions. Or you can just talk about what you're envisioning and it just makes all the footage. It has the spokesperson welcoming you, or it has your avatar welcoming the audience. And it has all these they're stock footage, but they're AI footage. They're really well done. They're not cheesy people high-fiving in Eastern Europe. Instead, it's looks like they got some really handsome Netflix actors to talk about this problem that your nonprofit solves. That's the kind of stuff that we're going to be seeing in a few years.
Yeah, and I think too, it's because I had this conversation with my kids the other day because we just recorded another AI episode a couple days ago. And they're like, Mom, you're not going to have a job pretty soon because AI is going to take it over. And I'm like, no, I don't think that's the case because I think there's still that human element that goes into it. Like you said you talk to it for 5 minutes and give it all this context. Like that is you giving it your creative genius, your knowledge, your information. If you didn't have that, you wouldn't get the good results. So I think it's the matter of like understanding what we want to get out of it, really being thoughtful about what that process looks like. And then going back to the conversation about authenticity, that's how you become authentic with AI.
Yes.
And it might be that you have a great relationship with a production company and you don't want to cut them out, and that's great. But you can then still save yourself money and time by creating the storyboard, which you might not know how to do very thoughtfully because AI is helping you like figure that out. And then you can get better produced, better quality video.
Well said. That's absolutely right. Yeah, I couldn't put it any better. I got nothing to add.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Okay, so what are some of your, I mean, you already mentioned the one tool, but what are some of your other favorite tools that you use to kind of streamline or create video? I'm mostly also thinking like, if I have long form blog content that I'm already creating, how can I turn that into video? Or like,
Yeah,
because we know that social media is video forward. Like, how can we kind of use tools to do all of that?
Yeah, I mean, video, first of all, I want to say is very nascent. Like, you probably already talk about this on your podcast a lot, but there's ways to use just like ChatGPT. If you're not using deep research, the little telescope at the bottom of your ChatGPT, and if you don't see it, you might be in the free plan. I highly recommend. I think it's worth the $20, or I pay the $200 a month to get these new features.
Yep.
Research is just so powerful. It'll scan 117 websites instead of 7, and it'll take 2 minutes instead of 2 seconds or 12 seconds. But it writes you just deep research. It's really powerful. Before I go into other tools, I want to go back to something you did just say, though, about replacing jobs. So I was just watching an interview with Jan LeCun, YANN space LECUNN. He's the lead AI researcher at Meta. He has been doing this since the 80s. He's a genius. And there's nobody deeper in this stuff who's built and patented and, I think he won like a giant Pulitzer Prize, whatever, the prize for the stuff. Anyways, he said that there is no way on earth that in 3 years, let's say even, that AI will be at a human level intelligence and coming up with ideas and prompting and all the things you just said, doing it them itself. It will just not. And why? Because what he said is AI is like this PhD sitting next to you. Hey, super intern PhD, go do this research on, big, deep niche things on our space and whether we should move into this or that. And she'll come back with like awesome stuff. And it's really good. It's like, wow, I'm a PhD too, and I couldn't have come up with it. That's great. But like you said, you had to come up with, we ought to think about this. What do you think about that? And what he said is in 3 years, that person's going to be really smart. They're not going to be like an intern. They're going to be like a genius in every space. And you can tell them what you want. They're really good at listening directions. They're not going to be sitting in this chair.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, if anyone knows, it's him. And he was so blasé about it. Like, he's like, yeah, it's like, he politely put it, some of my more adventurous colleagues are like, AGI is coming next year and everyone will be out of a job in 2 years. He said, no, everyone's going to have, Sammy's going to have a super editor and producer from Netflix sitting next to her that she can be like, hey, go do this for me, do that. And I think we ought to move into this and maybe do an episode on AI, see who's out there. And they're going to be so good at helping you. They're not going to be you.
Yeah. No, I love that you said that because
you have to show it to your kids.
I know my kids are weird. They're funny. They're so funny. My daughter, she got so mad at me the other day because I couldn't figure out what to make for dinner. So ChatGPT and I had a conversation about it and she was so embarrassed by me, but that's fine. But I think it's, the power for me is as a nonprofit with limited resources and a limited team, you can actually create better quality stuff so that you can continue to up level, so that you're raising more money because you're bringing in more, you're creating content differently. And then you can kind of build more, hire more people. Like you're actually going to continue to feed the ecosystem because you're able to grow your impact and grow your dollars a little bit more. So, 100%. Okay, so before we wrap this up, let's talk through any of your other favorite tools that you think people need to know about as they're kind of dabbling in.
Yeah, you could mess around with captions. Hey, Jen, for short form video, you mentioned TikTok has a new tool called Pippit, Pippit. Meta's keeps saying they're going to come out with stuff. They've got Instagram Edit. If you search the App Store for Edit, you can look at that. CapCut's always doing cool things. That's all the ones that are like, that are either building an app. The stuff that works right now, Sammy, is like they're either building an avatar that is either you or you make one, and they can talk to the camera, and you can pick their nice background and whatever. or it's like full, runway, Pika Labs, Pika, VO3 from Gemini, which is the best right now. Sora from SORA from OpenAI, although that sort of looked really exciting a year and a half ago, it's sort of fallen behind. I'm sure they'll have their moment where it jumps back ahead. So these things are changing all the time. But that's sort of my bunch of tools that I'd recommend on the video front.
I love
and
it.
And our tool, AirPost, but AirPost is really good for larger companies that are trying to like scale Meta and TikTok ads like crazy. But yeah, if you know anyone, if you're at a huge nonprofit or you know people that are looking to spend a few $100,000 or a few million a month on Facebook, my company is called airpost.ai, and we just help people make video ads for these platforms out of thin air.
I love that. Okay, so final question and final thing is, I think the other thing that people don't know about AI is its ability to clean up and edit your video. So like, for example, we're recording right now in Descript. We don't actually edit in Descript, but we should. But you can use AI for things like like when you're reading transcripts, it moves your eyes so it looks more natural, or to remove the ums and the ahs and the things automatically. So I'd love for you to kind of share some of the hidden features of video AI that is not creating from scratch. It is you creating, but it can help you get things done faster.
I mean, you just named them. It's exactly right. Cleaning things up. And I'm not in that long form world to know the best tools right now. I will tell you that the call I had with that CEO yesterday that's building in the browser-based editing space, she said Descript is probably the leader in this kind of thing that you're seeing there because you're using this product often. And then, I would say if you're looking for these tools, ask ChatGPT. Say, and give it a lot of context, right? This is what I'm trying to do. This is my problem. I just want to remove ums and ahs. I was just listening to Sammy's podcast and I heard that you could do this. What's the simplest, freest tool that I can use? Go. And then if you have questions about it, don't even go to the websites. Just keep asking ChatGPT. It'll go to the websites for you. That's what I would recommend. And don't be afraid that you are using AI. I've used ChatGPT to make all kinds of recipes, and it's terrific.
It worked out well. We had a great dinner. Okay, so this is great. And I want to just reiterate something because Artie, who we had on the podcast, episode 309, just 2 episodes ago, said the exact same thing that you just said with regards to don't get nervous about starting. Just ask ChatGPT like where you need to start. Like you don't have to have the whole prompt, just ask the question. So I love that you both have said that because I think that's where we get hung up on. I love that you use the voice piece because I think that's super awesome. I'm a verbal processor, so it's great to have kind of that person in my back pocket. But any last words of advice that you would want to share with anyone? And then you already mentioned your company, but how can people connect with you and kind of see more about what you do?
Yeah, last little piece of advice going off of this ChatGPT stuff is talk to it like a friend or an intern. Like, don't bark at it something, be nervous your prompt's not perfect, get something back that you're like, that's not really what I meant. This thing doesn't work. No, like you would never do that with a person. It's just a person trying their best. Just talk to it. When it responds, say, no, I actually meant this. Or, well, can you go, you mentioned that thing. Can you go more into that? Give me a 3-page answer. Give me a 3-sentence answer. Be really clear about what you want, and it will perform excellent. You can find me on LinkedIn, just John Gargiulo, Gargiulo. If you're working at a company or nonprofit that is spending 6 and 7 figures a month on paid social, definitely check out airpost.ai.
I love it. Well, John, thank you so much for being here. We will have everything linked up, including all the amazing resources you shared at thefirstclick.net/311. But thank you so much for being here.
Happy to be episode 311. Nice to do this.
Okay, big thank you to John for joining me today. So many great tools and resources that he mentioned. So we'll have those all linked up in the show notes at thefirstclick.net/311. That's 311. I hope for now you will subscribe wherever you listen and drop us a comment if you're watching us on YouTube. Do it right now. Let us know. What was the biggest takeaway? What was your favorite tool or a tool that you're excited to try that John mentioned? What was something that maybe surprised you about this episode? We'd love to hear it so that we can craft and bring on guests that continue to help you grow in the areas where you need support in your digital marketing growth and expansion. So for now, subscribe wherever you listen. Share this with a friend who you know is also struggling with video and could use some support. And thank you so much for being here and spending a little bit of time with me each week. I will see you in the next one.